One of the most difficult aspects of e-commerce development is how to solve these useless errors. My name is Joseph, and you see I'm in a pretty raw state here. Just finished up with my workout and sat down to bust out some updates onto my website, swiftauto.com, a Magento website, and I ran into this small problem. Wanted to run app config import to pull in some new updates from app etc config.php. Got this, the following themes will be registered. Those are not correct, which is possibly another problem to resolve. It might be also related, so we'll take a look at that. But when I hit yes, import failed, file something does not exist. So how do we troubleshoot this? And I will say, I have yet to troubleshoot this myself. I am not walking you through a predefined set of instructions. My goal is to show you exactly how I will approach solving this problem real-time, raw, directly for you. Oh, and if you haven't already, I talk about this type of stuff and way more in The Art of Ecommerce Debugging. Hope you have your copy already. If you don't, go to swiftauto.com/art of debugging or art of e-commerce debugging and order your book. Almost 200 pages, hardcover, beautifully illustrated book that tells you how to revolutionize, how to transform your career by being an excellent debugger. Order your copy today. Let's get going. All right, so I see some placeholders, and this is on a console using in the terminal. So anytime I can grasp an error message, I feel pretty comfortable. There's those occasions where I don't have an error message, and that's a bit more of an issue. But in this case, I do have an error message. So what I'm going to start doing is search for import failed in my project here. We see there's a number of these tests are very helpful in some cases, but for us searching through the project, it's useless. And of course, we could create a file mask to eliminate that. But yeah, and considering there's a drop-down list that might make your life a little easier. But either way, we'll just leave it at that. But because I see there's one app config import processor, which seems to match the file, the command that we ran, so that should be pretty easy. We'll jump into this. Okay, so there's an exception. The next thing we should do is drop a breakpoint here. And again, if you have not already configured or you are using Xdebug in your everyday work routine, and I say every day, all day, every day, which is what I do, go to swiftauto.com/mastering Xdebug, mastering Xdebug, which is the debugging tool that you will see me using here. It's free. Quite easy to install too. There's a whole course that I pulled together. It's free. The course is free as well, but on how to get well started in Xdebug. So we'll drop a breakpoint here, and we will run this again, and we will see what it does. Yes, well, yes with an asterisk. All right, so that's right. I have Xdebug disabled, so I'm going to enable. We're going to turn that back on and run this again. And by the way, one thing I call out in that course, Xdebug will slow down your environment. No doubt about it. It takes extra processing power to ensure check every breakpoint, et cetera, et cetera. So two things there. First, have as few breakpoints as absolutely 100% necessary. You can come up into the run menu, click on view breakpoints, and you'll see all the breakpoints here. And I have a ton of breakpoints. So it's probably about time for me to go through and clean those up. So I will not bore you with any further details, but that's, and also just turn off Xdebug, just plain and simple when you're not using it. All right, so we have our debugger. It's been hit. Trying to do this without debugger, yeah, it would have been possible. I would have dropped in some var dump statements, but it would take a significant amount more time to track this down. So we see this is an invalid transition exception. The file right here, config importer. And here's the most important part of this whole deal, our exception trace. I'm going to copy this class, and it looks like line 146, import. Line 146, return messages. This get warning messages. All right, so actually I'm going to set a breakpoint at the beginning of this. So this is ultimately where looks like the, config importer right here. Let's go back up to line 104 because this is actually where the exception is thrown. So it's caught and then it's rethrown. So we can set a breakpoint here. Again, I'm just trying to set some placeholders with breakpoints. Okay, where am I likely to get information or helpful information in this process? So I'm dropping a breakpoint here, and we're gonna leave one here. I think this is gonna be helpful, and I'm guessing, this is just my hunch, I am guessing it has to do with where these themes are registered. This is wrong. This should be front end, and if we were to go look at app etc config, we see that all these are the front end as well. So for some reason, this is being registered as the back end. So there possibly could be a misconfiguration, but even the area says front end. So I don't think there is a misconfiguration. So let's run this again. We're gonna just skip past this. And yeah, because I do think there is, this is where the key is. Okay. So, but now here's a little bit different thing. So it says file empty does not exist. So when I see an image adapter GD2, this tells me it's trying to load an image that's not there. There is no image there. So I'm going to start stepping through the stack trace one at a time. We don't need the interceptors for plugins. Got an image. All right. Now let's see what is trying to load this. Object manager. Okay. The abstract factory is going to take a couple more steps in here. Okay. So let's copy this value. We're going to, and remember, hit shift twice. It'll pull up this. You might also have to check include non-project files. All right. So this is create preview image. We're going to jump directly to this right here. And the image path, I'm guessing, is going to be blank. So let's start this over again. Okay. Now, get warning messages. We might want to take a separate, might make a separate video about this. But at least for right now, what we're going to do is step over that. So that spot that I set a breakpoint was not helpful at all. So it's coming in a different place. We have image path of this Manarola preview.jpg, but I'm guessing this is not going to be loaded up. App design, front end, SwiftOtter, Manarola, media, Manarola preview. So this file does seem to exist. We could even copy this, go over here just to test it out. Nope, it says it does not exist. All right, so I think we're now starting to get onto the issue here. So this path does not exist, even though it says it does, and even though we do have something here. So there is an inconsistency somewhere. So let's start tracking this down. Let's see our app design. Yep, that's all good. This is front end, so the area is right. SwiftOtter, Manarola, media, Manarola preview.jpg. Well, that's really fascinating. Let's just do this. We can do copy path, absolute path, and then we'll do, that one does exist. So what's the difference? I'm guessing this is a case sensitivity issue, but we're gonna go find this out. Opening up Sublime here so we can compare the two and very quickly get to the bottom of this. Okay. Haha. There's our problem right there. So this is great. So we have a PNG, but this is registered with a JPEG. If we change this out, we're going to stop it. Oh, that's right. We'll come back over here. Try running it. I think this problem will be solved, but this is the type of thing that can take a long time to troubleshoot. A long time to troubleshoot because if one doesn't know how to track it back. So we'll save preview image. Bingo. The theme import was started. The theme import was finished. So the key point that we take away from this is search for the error message that you can find in the code base. Set a breakpoint there. Then go back and rerun that same process to achieve the error. It might not be that the breakpoint is necessarily in the best spot, so move those breakpoints around and follow this stack trace in the exceptions. This was a super real life example, very raw. Look at me, I'm not ready for the day, but very raw, very easy to follow. And I hope that this provides much value to you as a developer to quickly and easily solve problems.